Hello, and welcome once again to Fright Night Classics. My name is Bill. I am your host, and I want to welcome you to the first ever movie discussion slash review video for our channel. And I was thinking, what better way to start the channel off by discussing my favorite horror film of all time from 1968, the original Night of the Living Dead. Regardless of your age or who you are, I'm sure practically all of you know everything there is to know about this landmark, trend-setting film. So I'm not going to bore you with the details of the backstory. You all probably know how it came about and how it was put together. But I will remind everyone that it was directed by the legendary George A. Romero, filmed with a bunch of his pals at the Latent Image Company, and pretty much that's all the backstory we're going to cover regarding this movie, because it's all been said and done a million times. Interesting backstory on how I first discovered the movie. I saw it for the first time on television back in 1975 at the age of 12 years old. A bunch of my friends and I, we were having a sleepover at a buddy's house, and one of the things that we wanted to do that night was to watch a good horror movie. Now, he had a really cool den that we were hanging out in. The only kind of negative aspect of the den was that it had a huge pair of sliding glass doors that led out to a small backyard, and then right behind that was a creepy woods. So it was really kind of a spooky setting to watch the movie in. But anyway, we were kind of arguing over what we wanted to watch, because at midnight on Channel 11 was Horrors of the Black Museum. And months ago, I had seen like the first 10 minutes or so of the movie, and I was so mesmerized by the spikes in the binocular scene from Black Museum that I really wanted to see the whole movie. But that was not to be. I was voted down, and so we were quote-unquote settled into watching Night of the Living Dead, which was on at 11:30 at night on Channel 7 on their Saturday night movie. Needless to say, I'm glad we made that choice, because when I watched the movie, it was, I'm 12 years old. It was a frightening experience. I mean, so much so that during commercial breaks, if I had to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't budge, because the bathroom was way too far down the hall. And throughout the entire movie, I kept looking over my shoulder through those sliding glass doors out into the woods, thinking things were coming after me. It was just a really horrifying experience, but in a good way. And so it was from that moment that my love affair with the movie started, and still remains to this day. The movie is very straightforward. The recently deceased are returning to life with an insatiable appetite for human flesh. We're not quite sure why this is happening. It just is. And one of the things that I really like about the film is Romero doesn't give us a concrete answer as to why it's happening. We're left to wonder. One of the theories is that a probe that was recently shot off towards Venus never got there, returned to Earth carrying a mysterious high level of radiation, and they wonder if this radiation has something to do with the dead reviving. But again, that's not concrete. The movie centers on a group of people holed up at a farmhouse. They've barricaded themselves in, trying to survive this onslaught, which is growing by the minute. These folks, they're probably their own worst enemies, really. The bickering, the infighting, the differences of opinion really kind of serve to do them in almost more than the rampaging ghouls outside the house. So this dynamic of this group of people trying to survive what's happening and the growing population of zombies outside really come together to make this a very tense and very suspenseful horror film. How does it end? Well, if you've seen the movie, you know how it ends. If you haven't, I'm certainly not going to tell you how it ends. But I will say that when you see the movie for the first time, the ending is quite a stunner. Overall, from start to finish, this is just, for my money, a wonderful film. Not only one of the best horror films ever made, one of the best films, period. Romero's direction, I love it. It's kind of crude. It has a semi-documentary type feel to it. Close-ups, angles, everything you could want. He does a pretty darn good job, in my opinion. The acting, which is made up of an amateur cast, to me is very good. It's real. It gives you the sense that this is a real group of people, battling insurmountable odds. I like the direction and the acting quite a bit. The story, it grabs you right from the get-go, and it just doesn't let go until the end. And as the minutes pass by, the tension builds. Really a wonderful first job of a major motion picture by Romero and company. I highly recommend the movie. If you haven't seen it, go out and grab it. There's tons of DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS still. The movie is available everywhere, online. It's in the public domain, so you can find it anywhere. But do yourself a favor, and if you haven't seen it, give it a look. I think you'll be highly impressed. I know, nowadays folks are kind of desensitized in a way to horror films because of the amazing technology and graphics that are on display in this day and age. There's sort of a desensitized state going on where when you look at an older film, it doesn't quite have the impact. But if you can just pause for a second and remember what it must have been like at the time that the movie was released, it might enhance your enjoyment of it. But I do recommend it. I say go out and give it a whirl. Wait till it's late at night, close the lights, and give it a watch. I think you won't be disappointed. And that's pretty much all I have to say for it. An A+ movie, a classic that deserves to be a classic, and I think it's one every horror aficionado should see. Okay, well, that's our first review here at Fright Night Classics. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back down the road with another review. And your opinions and your feedback are appreciated, and I thank you again, and we'll see you next time around. Have a great day.